Hello, class 9th. Your science teacher Neha Singh is back with the first chapter, Matter in our Surroundings, part 3rd, in which we are going to learn about how the different states of matter occur depending upon how these different particles they bind together to form a different states of matter. So there are basic classification of different types of the states of matter is being given here. You can say कि how the particles are arranging together to form a matter based upon this fact that there are total 5 different states of matter: solids, liquid, and gases. Other than that, generally in our daily life we find these 3 states of matter only, but we come to know about this. There are 2 more states of matter that can be achieved in varying the different conditions. So firstly we are going to learn about these, then we are going to learn about these 2 new states of matter also. So let's start in their differences. So we know that the particles are having the space between them. So depending upon how the particles they are arranging, the spaces between the particles, if the particle space between the two particles is very small, so we call it a closely packed, or we can say that rigid that cannot be bent, right? So very small particle is there, then that state will be considered as the solid state. Liquid state, they are comparatively having the large space between their particles and they are loosely packed. That's why you are able to pour 1 glass of water, 1 spoon of water from things, but you cannot take out the half of the matter without breaking it down of solid particles. Similarly, the particle space between the gaseous particles, the space between them, they are very large. They are not very close, very loosely packed, so we cannot hold the gases together, and this is the reason why you can easily walk through the gaseous state, but to walk through the liquid you have to apply some force. You have to make it spread the water, or you have to apply force to pass it on, but in solid you cannot move through it because they are not having space between them. Next property that we talked about, that the interparticle forces, that we have talked about in our previous video, that the particles of matter, they have spaces between, they are attracting each other. If they are not having the space between them, so they can hold together, they can make the other particles holding, they can keep them holding very tightly. So the particle solid state, they are very small spaces, the particles they are very strongly packed, they are having the more force of attraction. The particle attraction between the particle is very strong, and we can say that the force of attraction between the particle is maximum, right? The liquid state, they are having the weak force, that's why you can easily pour the particles from the jug to the glass to the any other utensil, smaller one, right? And the gaseous particles, they are very less force of attraction, they are very weak in nature, so that's why you can easily move through it, the other things can easily going through it. Now let's talk about the nature. Because of these 2 important properties, the spaces and the forces, so we can call it they are very strong in nature, they have less space, so they are hard and rigid. Liquid, they are fluid means they can flow. The fluidity means they could the things that can flow. The solid, they do not flow, but liquid can flow easily. And gaseous, they are very highly flowed in nature, okay? They can be considered the highly fluid, right? Because they can flow easily, the particles can move here and there very easily. Next thing we talk about the compressibility. Compressibility is something like if you are applying the pressure over something, so they should have you can say that they should bend, they should change their shape and structure, right? But the compressibility of the solid is negligible, so you if you are applying the pressure on them, they are not changing the structure, even they are just breaking down if you are applying more force. In the liquid, they are very small compressible, they are not very much compressible. If you are compressing them, they can move out easily. Similarly, they can pour out from the things that you are from which you are applying the force. Gaseous state, they are highly compressible. If you are compressing them in a container, in a something, so they can be compressed easily into a liquid state. If you are applying the pressure, they can be converted into, the particles could come more closer and closer, and they could change into the other state also. Next is shape and volume. We have, because of all these natures, the definite shape and the volume of the solid state will be there, but the liquid state, they are not having a definite shape. They take up the shape of the container in which it is taking up. So shape of the container. And if we talk about the gaseous state, they do not take up the shape of the container, but it occupy all the space in which they are having. So if you blow the balloon, so you can see that the balloon is having equal pressure on equal point after blowing it, right? Because the gaseous particles, they try to move at the walls of the balloon, and they are applying equal pressure over there. So that means they are moving in random. They are not taking the shape, but they are filling the space in which it is capturing the gaseous particles. So they are indefinite shape, and they are not having the definite volume also. Now we talk about the density. What do you mean by density? Density is mass per unit volume. In any area, we can say that if 1 kg mass is present in 1 centimeter cube, how much mass is there in how much area? So that will explain the density. So if the particles are more in smaller area, the density will be high. So that means the solid particles, they are very close enough, so their density will be high enough. Liquid state, they have the intermediate density between solid and the gases, and the gases, the particles are very, very far away. So in small area, the particles will be very less in number, so that's why the density are very low. Molecular motion or the kinetic energy, that means the motion that we are talking about in the previous video also, about the particles of the matter, they are in continuous motion, right? So but they are closely packed, so the solid particle state, they are just more vibrating at on their place. Liquid particles, they can move here and there also, so they are comparatively high motion. And the gaseous state, they are very, very far away, so they are having more energy. So the energy, because of the motion, we call that a kinetic energy. So kinetic energy in gaseous state is maximum, in liquid state it's intermediate, but in solid state is very low, because they are just vibrating at one place only. Now the diffusion, I have already told you, because of the spaces between the particles, they have the capability to diffuse, as the space between the particle of solid state is very, very low, so they have less, negligible rate of diffusion. Liquids have the slow diffusion, and the gaseous diffusion can be very fast. Hopefully you'll come to know about this. Let's move further. So these are the particles. You can say that the gaseous particles are more moving here and there, and they are far away. Liquid particles are closer, but the solid particles are arranged in a regular manner, in a regular fashion, but they are not liquid particles, they are not in a regular manner. Solid particles are in regular manner, so we are calling that a rigid, and these two are, they are fluids. Next is the fourth state of matter, that is the plasma. So when the gaseous particles, they charged up, they are having the free ions in them, so they'll become the fourth state. So when what we are doing, when the gaseous particles is highly charged, we are providing the high temperature, so at that time they become the charged particles. They could have the positive charge, they could have the negative charge. Because of that, they start glowing, because of the charged particles, we know that, and they might have some kind of spark in them also. So this is because of this, the fourth state can come into contact, which we call them a plasma state. And the examples are given here. The lightning, it is because of the charge created between the earth and the cloud state, so because of that you could see easily the lightning in the air. Solar wind, the wind that is flowing with the solar energy also, that means they are having some kind of temperature in them. Because of that, they heat up the gases, and when you feel that gases between them, when you move in that solar wind, so you'll find very itchiness, right? Because they are highly charged, and some kind of, you can find some kind of other things here also. Aurora is simply the glowing of particular area, we can say that. Other than that, fluorescent light, In this we fill the gases and we switch off the, when we switch on the light, so these gases starts converting into the charge particles, the positive, the negative charge particles, and then what they will do, they start glowing. Similarly, nuclear fireball, sun is also an example of your plasma state, and the stars, they are also the examples of the plasma state. The plasma state is actually the extended state of the gases in which we are providing the temperature, and because of that high temperature, the particles of the gases, they become charged, and because of that they start glowing. We can say that they can start glowing, right? So these are the plasma state of matter. Hopefully this might be clear to you all. Let's move to the fifth state of matter, that is the Bose-Einstein condensate, जिसको हम BEC भी कहते हैं. That is Bose-Einstein condensate. If we talk about why the name has been given, the Satyendra Nath Bose, the Indian scientist, and one of the scientists, that is the Albert Einstein, right? They work on these for fifth state of matter, right? So on the basis of their predictions, right, we call the fifth state of matter is Bose-Einstein condensate, or we call them BEC. What is it? Actually, when we take a gas and we supercool it, the gas should be at very low density of gas should be there, और उसको super low temperature, less than -273.16 Kelvin around, minus, right? So if we are keeping that gas at a very extremely low temperature, the extremely low density gas, if you are taking it, so what it will behave like a ball, clumps of ball, and they are performing a special function. They'll have the property like fluids, they could fluid here, there, right? So this is the Bose-Einstein condensate. So after around 2001, there are some Eric Cornell and there are other scientists, Carl Wieman, who used lasers, magnets, and other conditions to bring about this different state of matter, which we call them a Bose-Einstein case. If we remember that the plasma will be the high energy case and the Bose-Einstein case is the low energy one, in which we are lowering the temperature. So the states of matter, here we have the four states of matter, or we can say the 5 states of matter. So we can change these states of matter into one and each other. Solid can be changing into liquid, liquid could be changed into the gaseous, and gaseous could be changed into the plasma, and vice versa as well, right? By changing its conditions of temperature and pressure. So it is known as the change of state or interconversion of state of matter. So how can we achieve it? By providing the temperature, by providing the heat, or by providing the cool temperature, or by changing the pressure of any state of matter. We can across the change, we can come closer the components of the particles of the matter of different state, or we can make them far away. So let's talk about this. The first one is when the solid is changing into the liquid state by providing the heat. So we are increasing the temperature in this case. So in this case, as the particular temperature starts melting, so that particular temperature is known as the melting point, at which the solid particle starts changing into the liquid state by providing the temperature. How it is done? Normally we have the kinetic energy of the particles, the energy that is possessing by the solid particles. So these particles, they have the energy, the motion, right? But when we provide the temperature, they increase the kinetic. We are increasing the kinetic energy of that particular motion. So they start vibrating, they start moving with a very high speed. At this high speed, what happened? They ultimately start moving out of that particular space, and then the space, we can say that the created between them, which will become equal to the liquid state. Ultimately, the solid is changing into the liquid state, and at the temperature at which starts melting, we call it a melting point. And this melting point of ice is known as 0 degree Celsius. It is, or we can say that 273 Kelvin, right? But you can see here we are talking about the latent heat. What is latent heat? Latent means hidden. Latent means What do you mean by latent? That is hidden. It is the hidden heat. So when any substance, it is absorbing the heat or it is releasing the heat, and it's changing into its different physical state, like solid is changing into the liquid, or liquid is changing into the gaseous state. So what they did, they after reaching a particular melting point, that means if the ice reach at 0 degrees Celsius, the other heat that you are continuously supplying it, that is known as the latent heat. This heat will help in the breakdown of the force of attraction between the particles and changing the states of matter. This heat will not rise the temperature of melting point or the boiling point, depending upon on which we are talking about. If we are talking about the fusion, we can say that fusion or the melting process, or we are talking about the vaporization process. These could be of two different types, like latent heat of fusion and latent heat of vaporization. Here in the melting process, you can see here the latent heat of fusion is what, when the amount of heat energy that is requiring to change 1 kg of solid into liquid at its melting point. At its melting point means we are not changing the temperature, we are providing the heat just to overcome the force of attraction between them. So the process, because fusion, we are talking about fusion, the heat that is required to change the state, that is will be the latent heat of fusion. Similarly, with the boiling, when the liquid boils, starts boil, the nature of the particle, the kinetic energy of the liquid particles, it will change into, it will starts boiling and it will starts changing into the vapor state, right? And the temperature at which starts is known as the boiling point, and the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Similarly, at 100 degrees Celsius, the continuous heat that we are supplying, it is the latent heat, that is not increasing the temperature of that particular water, but it is, what it is doing, it is just helping into overcome the barrier of force of attraction between the particles and to make them in the gaseous state. One more effect of the temperature is there. There are some examples we can find in the nature, that the solid, they are not going into the liquid state, but they are directly changing into the solid state, solid to gas or gas to solid. So we are calling this process as the sublimation process. So here we can say that ammonium chloride, they are some of the examples of the sublimated, which directly converting into the gaseous state without going into the liquid state. Camphor, naphthalene balls, mothballs, they are different examples of the sublimation process. So we are going to learn more about these processes while we lowering the temperature. Till then, keep learning, keep growing with us. Thank you.